Good evening, my dear NEET 25 and 26 warriors, to the first class of your NEET journey in physics, and welcome to the basic maths lecture. I mean, just like that name suggests, basic maths, this is literally the basic, the foundation which you will need throughout your journey in physics. If you ask me, sir, will there be a direct question on basic maths? The answer is no. Then I'm like, okay, why should I watch this lecture? It's like asking, should I learn addition and subtraction because there will be no direct question on addition in your examination? Well, you know, addition subtraction is used everywhere. So same way, basic maths algebra will be used everywhere. It's basically like learning grammar in English. You cannot just talk in English without knowing grammar. Same way, you cannot learn physics without learning basic maths, be it algebra or be it the geometry part. All right. So nice to see all the 2025 warriors in this free YouTube series. This week, we are calling it as the basic week, meaning we are laying the foundation. We are laying all those basic concepts in front of you, making it strong so that when we learn all the chapters, it will be very easy for all of you. All right, so this is your captain. Hello Meghna, Roslyn, Krishna, Gunukala. Hello, Sheguz, Niharika, Meghna, Gunukala. Welcome Rakshana, welcome IKK. Hello Sushmita, hello Minu, hello. Good evening Saran, Gokul. Nice to see all of you, all the new warriors, and I really hope that I will see you till the end, till the time you give your NEET 25 or NEET 2026 examination. With this promise, let's start this class. Let me quickly introduce myself. You also can introduce yourself in the chat box, whether you are a 11th student, 12th student, or a dropper. Quickly let me know. And also probably the city from where you are. So that probably you might meet somebody from the same state or same city. You might be friends for the rest of this journey. I'm Captain Shreyas, and I have been teaching physics for more than 13 years now, sending kids into the top-notch colleges of this country. I became a teacher, okay, because I wanted to be one. After spending 3 years, almost in the software electronics industry. So I did extremely well. It was a very good job. And I left that job to start teaching students for J and then slowly entered into NEET also. And I'm so happy and proud because I see right now the first batch of students who I taught are doing very well. In fact, many of them have even been married right now, right? So now, over the last couple of years, I'm really happy that thousands and thousands of kids are entering into these top colleges because of our mentorship, because of the kind of interest that I show in physics and their overall development. So a lot of amazing sessions are lined up for you, and NEET physics, which students feel is a subject which pulls down their marks, can become your strength because I am teaching you. And I can tell you this with complete confidence, which many teachers chumma might say you because they are on YouTube, but I have seen this with experience. My students have not only scored well but also fell in love with the subject. Okay, so let's begin with the lecture. And nice to see all of you. And thank you for all the love from different parts of the country. Hello, Malikarjun. Hello, Anu. Hello, Gokul. Hello, Sana. Hello, Ganesh. Wow, now lots of students from Tamil Nadu and Andhra too, I guess. Even many students from Karnataka. Hello, Sahara. Sahasra. Hello, Jayalakshmi. Nice to see all of you, Karthik. Okay. So, what are we going to start off with in today's lecture? Let me just tell you that first. So, we are going to do couple of main things because we are talking about algebra, right? Because we are talking about algebra, right? So, you will see that in algebra, we will be doing today ratios and proportions. Ratios and proportions. In that, a lot of minor subtopics are there, like proportionalities, how to choose the constant, how to increase, decrease, how many times does that one quantity change, if this quantity changes these many times, all those kind of things, as well as pH solutions and all of that. You learn that later. So this part will be to you by Diksha ma'am. So these three parts I'll be covering today. Got it? Is it clear what is the scope of today's class? Let's start with ratio and proportions, my dear warriors. Okay, let's start with this. Now, all right. I hope you have liked the session already. If you have not yet liked, please do that right away, right now. Yeah, do that in case you've forgotten, and subscribe to the channel, or else you'll forget where did I watch it, when did I watch it, I lost the teacher name, I lost the channel name, all these things will happen. So quickly subscribe to the channel and also like this particular video. So let's start with ratio and proportions. Let's start with basically ratios and proportions. Ratios and proportions, guys. Okay, let's start with this. Now, tell me one thing, my dear students. When I say, for example, the amount of love that you show towards the channel, proportionately, I will make that many number of videos. Okay, if I'm making more videos, that means you are giving me more love. If you are giving me more love, that proportionately is going to increase the number of my videos. I will show it symbolically like this. I will show it symbolically like this. So if you give me more love, I will make more and more videos. If you don't love me so much, then I will also not make too many videos. This is your proportionality, right? This is basically your proportionality. Same way, you can also say, if you are going to waste a lot of your time, if you are going to waste a lot of your time, then your NEET score, then the NEET score is inversely proportional to that. I will show it as 1 by waste of time. That means if I waste more time, then my score will be less. Then my score will be less. If I waste less time, then my score will automatically be more. So when I write it down below, then it is called inversely proportional. Is that right? So this first part is said to be directly proportional. This was directly proportional. This was basically inversely proportional. This is that symbol for proportionality. Is that right? Thank you, Chitra, for all the love. Yes, Rakshana, it is called proportional. Correct. So now, in physics, in chemistry, in mathematics, in biology, you will use this proportionality so many times. You will say that, sir, the voltage was directly proportional to the current. You might have learned that in physics in 10th standard. Do you remember this from the current electricity chapter? Long Ohm's law. Voltage was directly proportional to the current. You also learned about, speed is inversely proportional to time and stuff like that. So many places you are going to use this. So my dear warriors, if I write it down like this, x is proportional to, or in general, I can say y is proportional to x. This is y is inversely proportional to x. This is proportional. This is proportional. This is inversely proportional. Inversely proportional. Now there are very, very simple rules over here. There are very, very simple rules over here. For example, if I tell you x is proportional to y, and it is also given to me y is proportional to z, y is proportional to z, then can I say x is also directly proportional to z? Yes or no? Put up in the chat box yn, or yes, no. Quickly put it up in the chat box. Yes or no? If I increase z, y increases. If I increase y, x increases. So if I increase z, indirectly x will increase. Make sense? Similarly, my dear warriors, imagine x is inversely proportional to y and y is inversely proportional to z. Inversely proportional to z. Then what can you conclude? Imagine if I increase z, y will decrease. If y decreases, x will increase. So if Z increases, X also increases. So can I say X is directly proportional to Z? It's like two negatives make a positive, two wrongs make a right, two inverses makes the direct relationship. X inversely proportional to Y inversely proportional to Z is directly proportional to X. Is that clear, my dear warriors? Yes or no? Very good. Similarly, tell me, my dear warriors, if X is directly proportional to Y, but Y is inversely proportional to Z, okay, these both things are given to you, then what can you comment about the relation between X and Z? Think about it. If Z increases, Y decreases. If Y decreases, X decreases. So X is decreasing when Z is increasing. They are inversely related to each other. So X is inversely proportional to Z. X is inversely proportional to Z. Similarly, also, I can say if X is inversely proportional to Y and it is given to me Y is directly proportional to Z, then quickly tell me what is the relation between X and Z. X and Z. Let's see whether you can put it up in the chat box. Directly or inversely related. Quickly put it up in the chat box, my dear warriors. Quickly put it up in the chat box, my dear warriors. Yes, if Z increases, Y increases. If Y increases, X will decrease. Yes, Z increasing, X decreases. So they are inversely related to each other. Very simple. Very simple. Also, one more rule, my dear warriors. If I tell you X is proportional to Y, if X is proportional to Y, then can I also say Y is also proportional to X? I mean, X is going to increase if Y increases. Obviously, Y will increase if X increases. So both can be just flipped, behind these symbols. Okay, there is no harm in this. Is that clear, my dear warriors? Yep, awesome. Similarly, I can also say if X is inversely proportional to Y, if I say X is inversely proportional to Y, then Y is also inversely proportional to X. All these are simple rules. All these are simple rules which I have just told you over here. Very straightforward rules. Till this point, everybody clear 100%? Everybody is understanding till this point? Very good. Now let's take this a step further. Let's take this a step further and see whether you can understand the next part. Okay, everybody pay attention closely now what I'm going to do. Example, X is proportional to Y and Y is proportional to Z square. Then tell me what is the relation between X and Z quickly, my dear warriors. Then what is the relation between X and Z? Is just bring together X proportional to Y. Just think about it like this very simply. X is proportional to Y is proportional to Z square. So indirectly, you can also say X is directly proportional to Z square. X is directly proportional to Z square. Very good. Let's take it a step further. X is proportional to Y square. Y is proportional to Z cube. What is the relation between X and Z? What is the relation between X and Z? So what you should do is, guys, you should have one term at least common between both the relationships. You can see X is proportional to the square of Y. I do not have square of Y, so bring in square of Y. So if I square both sides, can I not see Y square will be proportional to Z raised to 3 raised to 2, which is basically Z raised to 6. Cube into 2 is 6. 3 into 2 is 6. I am squaring both sides. Now do you see Y square and Y square is common in both these relationships? I can immediately form a link. X proportional to Y square proportional to Z raised to 6. Therefore, can I not say X is proportional to Z raised to 6? X is proportional to Z raised to 6. How many of you got this? Very good. Proud of all of you, my dear students. You're slowly getting the hang of it. Next question. if x is proportional to root of y, x is proportional to root of y, and y is proportional to z square, then what is the relation between x and z is the question. Come on. Mohammed will be coming to derivatives and integration later on. Don't worry. First, let's learn all these basic things. These are very crucial things. People don't learn this. Nobody teaches you also. And then you don't understand how did you solve the physics question, sir? Okay, come on, my dear warriors. Get the same thing on both sides. So what you do, take root. So you will get root of y is proportional to root of z square. Okay, now you have root of y here also and root of y here also. There is a common link which is formed. So x, therefore, x is directly proportional to root of z square, but root of z square is just z only. Right? 2 squares root is 2. 3 squares root is 3 only. So x is directly proportional to z. Exactly. Very good. So now you are getting a hang of it. Now you are getting a hang of it. Let's say I make it slightly more complex for all of you. If I tell you in a physics question, the pressure is a directly proportional. The pressure is directly proportional to the acceleration due to gravity. The acceleration due to gravity is inversely proportional to the radius square, the radius square of the earth. Okay, and you have to find the relation between pressure and radius. What will you do? You will quickly think pressure directly proportional to g. G is there here also, here also. Therefore, I will say pressure is inversely related to the square of the radius. Inversely related to the square of the radius. Correct. Similarly, another example, my dear warriors. Another example, my dear warriors. If I tell you the velocity of a body which is falling from the top, falling from the top. Imagine a spherical ball falling from the top. The velocity is directly proportional to the square of the radius, square of the radius of the ball. And if I tell you the radius of the ball, the radius of the ball, is probably directly related to the mass square, then what is the relation between velocity and the mass? First of all, you will try to establish a common link. I can see r square here, r here, so I cannot do it directly. So first square this. If this becomes r square, this will become m raised to 4. If this becomes square, this will become raised to 4. Now I can see I have a common link. Velocity proportional to r square proportional to m raised to 4. Therefore, I can say velocity directly proportional to m raised to 4. M raised to 4. Understood, my dear warriors? Okay. Now you might be thinking, sir, what is the use of all this? Okay, I'll come to that also. I'll come to that also. One thing, do you agree? One thing, do you agree? Let's say, for example, pressure is inversely related to R square. Pressure is inversely related to what is it? R square in this question. And in this question, what was it? Velocity is proportional to m raised to 4. Therefore, you can forget the proportionality, convert it into equality and write it as some constant. I don't know what that constant is. Some constant divided by r square. I have replaced the proportional symbol with equal to. Yeah, I have replaced the proportional symbol with equal to. Same way I can write velocity is some constant into m raised to 4 into m raised to 4. What is this constant called as? What is this constant called as, my dear warriors? What is this constant called as? Yes, this is called as the constant of proportionality. Constant of proportionality. Very good. Constant of proportionality. Very nice. This constant might depend on so many things. We do not bother. There is some constant. This is clear, everyone. So you can see most of our formulas in physics are of this form only. Check this out. Gravitational force is proportional to the product of the masses, inversely related to the square of the distance. The constant of proportionality is G. So it will become m1 m2 divided by r square. So many physics formulas are there exactly of this form. This is exactly of this form. This is that constant of proportionality. Yes or no, my dear warriors? And this is true for most of the formulas, or many formulas in physics are very, very similar to this. Correct? Yes? Everyone with me on this? Awesome, awesome. You will see soon resistance. Resistance is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the area. So if you write down the proportionality into equality, that constant of proportionality is called resistivity. Rho. It is called rho resistivity. So many such formulas are there. These are your constants of proportionality. Now, in physics, you get questions on exactly these kind of things where they might just tell you, say, for example, let me use this only. F is equal to G m1 m2 divided by r square. Example. I'm taking this as an example. If m1 is made 2 times, m2 is not changed at all, and r is also not changed at all, what will happen to the force? What will happen to the force? These kind of questions can come. So what will you do? What will you do? Say for example, they just tell you only m1 is made 2 times. You write down this formula. You can see F is equal to G m1 m2 divided by r square. M is in the numerator. The numerator will increase 2 times. Write it down like this. The numerator will increase 2 times. Agree? So if right hand side increases 2 times and I put equality, equality means LHS and RHS should be equal. So if RHS becomes 2 times, LHS should also become 2 times. So the force will also become 2 times. So if the mass becomes 2 times, the force will also double. The force will also double. Now imagine another question is made, and they say R becomes 2 times. R becomes 2 times. No worries. F is equal to G m1 m2 divided by R square. Think, where is R? Denominator. R has increased how many times? 2 times. So the square of R will increase how many times? 4 times. But it is in the denominator. It is in the denominator. So if R increases 2 times, you can see the ratio over here, the right hand side over here has gone down by 4 times, because 4 is there in the denominator. It has become 1/4. Hence the final answer for the force will be, it will become 1/4 of the previous value, 1/4 times. If it was 100, it will become 100 by 4. If it was F, it will become F by 4. Got it, my dear warriors? Understood? Clear? Everyone? Understood? Oh, Pakka? Awesomeness, awesomeness. Very good. Keep it up. Yeah. Yes. So, Priya, once this is taught over here, understand this won't be again taught in the DNA batch. So, please watch this lecture carefully. That is why I'm leaving you the foundation. I'm helping you out to understand how these things work. I'm laying the foundation for all of you. Okay. All right. Now, moving on to the next part. Moving on to the next part. Let's take this particular example. R is equal to rho L by A. Let's take this. R is equal to rho L by A. And they tell you in the question that length increases 2 times, area increases 4 times. What will resistance do? How many times will it change? So write down the formula. R is equal to rho L by A. Length increased 2 times. Area increased 4 times. 2 is in the numerator, 4 is in the denominator. 2 divided by 4, how much will it be? Half. Half. 2 and 4 cancels, 1, 2 remains. So basically, right hand side changes half times. So resistance will also become half number of times. If it was 100, it will become 50. If it was R, it will become R by 2. If it was 1, it will become 0.5. Understood, my dear warriors? Yes. Same way you can apply it for any question. Let's say I tell you, some quantity is there, x, it is dependent like this, y raised to 2 upon z into, let's say, something, okay, uh, some some formula like this, y is equal to cy square by z. If I tell you, if I tell you y has increased 3 times, z has increased 2 times, what will happen to x? What will happen to x? You guys think and tell me. Quickly look, where is y? Numerator. It is squared. So in the numerator has increased 3 times, but you have squared the y value. You have squared the y value. So 3 square is on the top and z is below. Z has increased how many times? 2 times. So what is 3 square? It is basically 9, and into 2, basically this has become 9 by 2, which is basically 4.5 times. So x will become 4.5 times the older value. 4.5 times. How many of you got it? 9 by 2 or 4.5? Yes, Priya, you can follow both. But if you are a part of DNA, I think you will be more or less following the DNA batch. Yeah. Yes. Perfecto. Clear till this point? This is very, very crucial in most of the physics problems. If you are a 12th student or a dropper student, most likely you would have seen questions like this in the NEET PYQs. This increased these many times, this increased this many times, this decreased this many times. How much will this change by? How many of you have seen? Quickly raise your hand so that the 11th standard students who are just entering this particular batch or the YouTube video understand this is very, very important. Okay. So in NEET, 1,000 times these kind of questions have been asked. 1,000 times. Yes. So very, very, very crucial kind of a problem this is. How many times will it change by? How many times will it change by? You can have many, many more questions, guys. Like for example, if I write down uh, x is directly proportional to y, x is also inversely proportional to z, x is also proportional to t cube. Okay, then if 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 y increases 2 times, z increases 3 times, and time increases let's say probably 3 times again, then what will happen to x? Then they will ask you what will happen to x. This kind of question, for example. So think about it. X is proportional to y, x is inversely proportional to z, x is also directly proportional to t cube. So in a way, x is proportional to y into t cube divided by z. If you convert it into proportionality, x is equal to c into some constant into y into t cube divided by z. Now think about it properly. Y is in the numerator has increased 2 times. T is in the numerator has increased 3 times, but I have to cube it. Z is in the denominator. Z is in the denominator and it has increased 3 times. So see how many times will it increase? 3 cube and 3. 1 3 will get cancelled. 3 square will remain. 3 square is 9. 9 2s are 18. So it will change 18 times. So it will basically change 18 times. So the value of x will increase by 18 times. Okay. Why we are scaling LHS and RHS? To preserve the equality. IKKK. Okay. To preserve the equality. If I do anything to LHS, I have to do the same thing on the right hand side. Clear? Understood? How many of you wrote 18? Let me see. Very good, Ashna. Very good, Riyansh. Awesomeness. Samad. Very good. So that was basic ratio proportion. Now there is a very interesting rule in ratio and proportion. So let me tell that to you also. Very, very interesting. So imagine this. Imagine this. If x by y is equal to p by q. Okay. If x by y is equal to p by q, then here are the following possibilities which are always going to be true. The first possibility is numerator plus the denominator upon the denominator. If I do this on the LHS, I have to do the same thing on the RHS, meaning it will be P plus Q upon Q. Numerator plus denominator upon denominator. This is always true. This property is called as componendo. This is called as componendo. The second property is as follows. The second property is as follows. If you take the numerator and subtract the denominator, divide by denominator, do the same thing on the right hand side. Basically, whatever you do on the left, do it on the right. So guys, this will be also the same thing on the right hand side. So numerator minus denominator upon denominator is numerator minus denominator upon denominator. This is called as dividendo. What is this called? Dividendo. When you add compound addition, when you subtract, you are removing, dividing. It is called dividendo. And then you have the combination of both of these. You have the combination of both of these, which is called as componendo dividendo. Componendo dividendo. Meaning, take the numerator, add it to the denominator. Take the numerator and then subtract it from the denominator. Do the same thing on the right hand side. Numerator is P plus the denominator upon numerator minus the denominator. This is called componendo dividendo property. This is called componendo dividendo property. Yes, this satisfies for every value. Don't believe me? No issues. Let's make you believe this. Let's make you believe this. Okay, no issues, guys. Tell me some random number. Let's say, for example, 1 by 3 is also, or let's say I take, yeah, let's take 6 by 2 is equal to 1 by 3. Everybody agrees? 6 by 2 is equal to 1 by 3. Everybody agrees? Let's try all the different properties, guys. If I use only componendo, numerator plus, sorry, I got 3 by 1, my bad. This was supposed to be 3 by 1. Yeah, now it is fine. Yeah. So numerator plus denominator upon denominator. Here also, numerator plus denominator upon denominator. 6 plus 2 is 8. So it will be 8 by 2. Here this will be 4 by 1. Yes, they both are equal. 8 by 2 is equal to 4 by 1. This is componendo. Let's try out dividendo. So it will become 6 minus 2 by 2. Here it will become 3 minus 1 by 1. Check this out if they are equal or not. 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 by 2. 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 by 1. Yes, 4 by 2 is 2 by 1. Perfect, matching. No problems at all. Let's try componendo dividendo. 6 plus 2 upon 6 minus 2. 3 plus 1 upon 3 minus 1. Correct? So what will this be? 8 by 4. This will be 4 by 2. Correct. 8 by 4 and 4 by 2 is one and the same thing. So this property works in general anywhere, guys. Any numbers. I took random numbers. Is that clear, my dear warriors? Okay. So now imagine, my dear students, what I do. I tell you that if I add A and B and if I subtract A and B, that ratio comes out as 7 by 2. Then can you find A by B? Then can you find A by B? Guys, whenever you see plus minus numerator denominator, what will strike in your mind? What will come to your mind whenever you see plus minus numerator denominator? Yes, this ratio property, which is componendo dividendo. Oh, so maybe if I apply componendo dividendo, I might get something. Let's try and apply it. So what is the numerator here? The numerator only is A plus B. The numerator is only A plus B plus the denominator, which is A minus B. Whole thing divided by numerator minus denominator. Whatever I do left hand side, do that on the right hand side. Numerator plus denominator. Numerator minus denominator. A plus B, A minus B plus B cancels. A plus A is 2A. Same way, over here, A and A cancels, B minus minus becomes plus, so it will become 2B. 7 plus 2, 9. 7 minus 2, 5. 2 cancels, so A divided by B is 9 by 5. We got the answer. Understood? Everyone? Clear? How we got the answer without doing any kind of cross multiplication. Some of you might be thinking, sir, can we not do cross multiplication here? Why not? You will still get the same answer. If I cross multiply, if I cross multiply 2 with A plus B, 2 with A plus B, if I take 2 on this side, A minus B, I take it here, so it will become 7 into A minus B. So this will become 2A plus 2B is equal to 7A minus 7B. Now, 7B you shift it over here, so it will become 2B plus 7B. 2A you shift it over here, so it will become 7A minus 2A. 2 plus 7 is 9, so it will become 9B is equal to 5A. Take B here, take 5 below. So 9 by 5 will be A by B, which is exactly the same answer. So it's not like you get a different answer. But the problem is, look at the number of steps. Look at how much time you wasted. With componendo dividendo, 1, 2, third step. Actually, here this was a useless step, only 2 cancels. Directly you can see A by B is 9 by 5. Within 2 steps, you got the answer. If you cross multiply, you have to take so many steps. Understood why we do not use cross multiply sometimes? Yep. All right. All right. Priya, DNA is a complete online batch. You have to give all the tests, assignments, everything online. But yes, you are free to visit any Vedantu Learning Center. Got it? Yeah, very long steps. Correct. Correct. So this is one of the uses. You will see many uses and many different places for componendo dividendo, like upstream downstream problems, vector when added and vector when subtracted problems, or maximum intensity or constructive interference destructive interference problems. All these questions you will see componendo dividendo property will be used. Okay, I've taught you the basics. When those questions come, I'll remind you. See, we learned this property and I will show you the steps again over there. Clear? Is componendo dividendo ratio proportion understood? Give me a heart in the chat box. Let's see how many hearts are there. Then we'll go to the next concept. So we have learned ratio and proportions basically. Now let's go to binomial approximation before going to quadratic. Yep. Live counseling sessions. Yes, Sainath, I'll be taking. Just wait for the maybe results to come in. All right. So let's go. Let's go now to basically binomial approximation. All right. Very good. Very good. Awesomeness. Very good, Yalini. Very good. Yes. Now observe this, guys. Although binomial and quadratic I will teach in DNA batch again in much detail again with more problems, but still I will teach you over here also. Don't worry about it. All right. Now observe this, guys. Binomial. What is the meaning of this word binomial? Binomial, and this is approximation. Approximation. Okay. Binomial. Bi means two. Bi means two. Polynomial, monomial, polynomial, basically multiple terms. For example, A plus B. These are two terms, so this is binomial. A plus B plus C. This is tri. There are basically three terms in it. A plus B plus C plus D. This is quadnomial. So same way I can have A plus B plus like that. This will become polynomial. This will become binomial. Understood, my dear warriors? What is the meaning of binomial, trinomial, quadnomial, like that, penta, hexa, whatever you want to call it, octnomial? You will go to polynomial. Okay. Now, when I raise it to n, or when I raise it to some number, there is an expansion formula, a plus b whole square. You know the formula. A plus B whole cube formula. A plus B whole raised to 4. In general, raised to n. In general, raised to n. This is a binomial, and when I write it into different terms, when I write it into separate terms, this is called as the expansion of it. I'm expanding it. This is the expansion of it. For example, my dear warriors, if I write a plus b whole square, or just say raised to 1, a plus b raised to 1 is just a plus b. Same way, a plus b whole square, the expansion is a square plus 2ab plus b square. If I put a plus b whole raised to 3, it is a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. This is the expanded form. I have basically expanded it. Understood, my warriors? This was a binomial. This was basically a binomial. I have expanded it. Till this point, everybody clear? Till this point, everybody clear? Okay. What is the meaning of in general binomial? Now, why am I calling it binomial approximation, not expansion? Because most of the times in physics, you can make your calculations easy using this trick which I am going to teach you. Using this trick which I am going to teach you, your calculations will become easy. Nobody ever in the history of NEET will give you a direct question on binomial approximation, because they would want you to use it while solving a multi-step problem. Somewhere in between, you will use it. That is why you learn this technique, which will simplify your calculations, which will help you. So the logic goes as follows. The logic goes as follows. Check this out, my dear warriors. If I have 1 plus x raised to n, won't I have many terms in it? Won't I have many terms in it? In fact, you can see right from here, if it is raised to 1, you have 2 terms. If it is raised to 2, you have 3 terms. If it is raised to 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So basically, if it is raised to n, when you expand it, you have generally n plus 1 terms like that. So it has many terms for sure. It has many terms for sure. X is something, n is something, doesn't matter. But if x is much smaller than 1, this is the very important part. If x is very small, like 0.005, 0.00283, 0.0000001, x is much smaller than 1, then what happens is, forget the equality. 1 plus x raised to n, I don't need many terms, is almost as good as 1 plus that power which is there, n, into x. This is called as binomial approximation. Binomial approximation. Binomial approximation. When is this true? Only if this number is much smaller than 1, then it is 1 plus nx. Very important formula. And the condition also is very important. Not every time, only when x is much smaller. All right. Now, let's take examples. You'll be like, sir, how does it help us, sir? What is the true application of it, sir? Don't worry, my dear warriors. I'm going to teach you everything. All right. Let's say I have 1.02 raised to 5. 1.02 raised to 5. I want to calculate it. It is as good as saying 1.02 multiplied by 1.02 multiplied by 1.02 multiplied by 1.02, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times. This is what it is. It will be slightly more than 1. But obviously, you will not sit and multiply 102 into 102 into 102 5 times. It will make the calculation very lengthy. Correct? Agree or disagree? This is basically a lengthy calculation. This is basically, obviously, a very lengthy calculation. Instead, what I suggest, Let's see if I can write it in binomial form. And I think I can, because it looks like that. It looks like that. Check this out. 1 plus 0.02 raised to 5. Is it looking just like this? 1 plus x raised to n, 1 plus x raised to n, 1 plus x raised to n. Is it looking very similar to that form? Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Yep. Itachi, it is 3,999 rupees right now. If you miss the the joining date offer, then you will get the batch for 5,000 rupees. You can check out the link in the description box. Yep. Okay. So now, oh, this number is very small. Chintu Mintu, it is very Chintu Mintu in front of 1. 0.02 and 1. Obviously, this is Chintu Mintu. So I can approximately say, it is 1 plus n is 5 into x, which is 0.02. What is that going to be? What is that going to be? 5 2s are 10, so it will become 0.1. So it will approximately become 1.1. That is the answer. I skipped this mathematics and I directly got the answer. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This is right. Let's do more questions, and now you will get the true understanding of this. Let's try this out. 0.98 raised to 3. See, if you do calculation wise, it will be like 0.98 into 0.98 multiplied by 0.98, which is definitely very, very lengthy calculation. I would want to avoid it. So let's think, can I write it in the binomial form? Whenever binomial comes, it should be 1 plus minus something, 1 plus minus something, and it is, because it is 1 plus negative 0.02. Okay, this whole thing raised to 3. Whole thing raised to 3. Wow, amazing, guys. This is 1 plus x. X can be positive, negative, anything. This x is negative 0.02, correct? 0.98 is 1 minus 0.02 and whole thing raised to 3. And this number is very small as compared to 1. So approximately this will be 1 plus n is basically 3. X is basically negative 0.02. So this will be 1 minus, because this minus will come, 2 3s are 6, so 0.06. So this will be basically 0.94. This will be basically 0.94. Understood, my dear students? Understood, my dear students? Perfect. Very good. Satyavir, 1 minus, yeah, 0.02. 1 minus 0.02. Yeah, be careful. It will be not 1.06. Be careful, Rosaline. It is not plus. This is minus. But remember, this negative sign was there. So that's why minus. So 1 minus something will be point something. Will be point something. Is that clear, everyone? All right. Now let's take a more slightly difficult example. More slightly difficult example. Ready for this difficult example? Everybody with me? Everybody with me? Okay, let's try this out, guys. Okay, let's try this out. Check this out. 1 divided by 0.992. All right. And this is raised to 4. Okay, 0.992 raised to 4. Or let's say, let's just take it a little bit simpler. 0.99 raised to 4. Okay, I want to do this. 0.99 raised to 4. Again, try to think. Always I have to get it in the binomial form. So it should be 1 plus minus something raised to something. Problem is, this whole thing is downstairs, not upstairs. If something is down, you have to lift them up. How? By changing the power sign. So this will be, truly speaking, 0.99 raised to what? 0.99 raised to what? Yes, minus 4. Minus 4, negative power, correct? I take it on the top. Okay, but still it's not in the binomial form. It is 0.01 less than 1. So is it not 1 plus negative 0.01, the whole thing raised to -4, whole thing raised to -4. Got it? Now is this looking like a binomial? And this is very small as compared to 1, very teeny mini chintu mintu as compared to 1. So approximately this will be 1 plus n value is -4, x value is -0.01. So negative and negative becomes positive. 4 into 0.01 will become 0.04. So this will become 1.04. That is the answer. Tell me, is it not making your calculations a piece of cake? Is it not making your calculations a piece of cake? Yes, very good. Yep. Riyash, I think you forgot minus, and minus will make it plus. So I think you forgot one minus sign. So this negative power can also, yes, come over here. So it will become positive. So it will be more than 1. It will be more than 1. Be careful. Very good, Hitachi. Very good, Yalni. Awesome. Now, taking it even a step ahead, let's say I tell you, you have to find the square root of, let's say, 998. Square root of 998. Like, wait a minute, what nonsense. This does not even look like close to, 1. It's not close to 1 for sure. Or else, let's take some square root question like this. If I tell you square root of 9998. Sir, this is not close to 1. How do I even do this? How do you even solve this problem? This is actually a binomial approximation problem. This is actually a binomial approximation problem. You can also do like 9997. How do I find the square root of this? I'll tell you how. Observe this. Observe this carefully. Is this as good as saying 9997? Okay. Can I write it as 10,000 minus 3? 10,000 minus 3, the whole thing under the root. 10,000 minus 3, whole thing under the root. Nothing wrong in that. No problem at all. Perfect. Okay. Observe the next step. Take 10,000 common. Take 10,000 common. Okay. Take 10,000 common. What will you get? 1 minus 3 by 10,000. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay. Perfect. This is what it will be. The whole thing under the root. The whole thing under the root. Everybody is able to see this? Yes. Now, think logically. Root is there here also. Root is there here also. What is root of 10,000? What is the root of 10,000? And then over here, you have 1 minus 3 by 10,000. What is root of 10,000, guys? It is 10 raised to 4. 10 root of 10,000 is 100 because 100 square is 10,000. Is it not 100 actually speaking? Is it not 100? And check this out. This is 1 minus, or you can put 1 plus 3 by, or you can just put minus 0.0003, the whole thing raised to half. The whole thing raised to half. Just check this out. Because 3 by 10,000 is 0.0003, correct? And that minus sign has come here. Root means the power is half. Root, everybody agrees with this? Everybody knows this, right? Root of x is as good as saying x raised to half. X raised to half. That is what I have done over here. Oh, this looks like a binomial. This is 1 plus something whole raised to n. Do you see that? 1 plus something whole raised to n. Do you see that? Yes or no? How many of you are able to see this? Very good. So this will be now written down as 100. And then what will happen over here? It will become 1 plus n is basically half. X is basically this. X is basically this. So minus 0.0003. Perfect. Okay. So this will become basically, become 100 into Now you can think of it as 0.15, yeah. So this will become 1 minus 0.00015. Correct? Everybody agrees with this? Everybody agrees with this statement? Yeah. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So that's why 0.00015. 1 minus 0.00015. Okay. Guys, what will that be? What will that be? It will be basically how much? Point. Come on. You will have, this is almost like 1 lakh. So you'll have 0.999 85. Just check this out. 0.99985. Is that right? Yes, perfect. And you multiply by 100, this will become 99.985. Yes, we got it. Yes, we got it. Just check this out. Everyone? Perfecto. Everyone got it? All right. How many of you got it? Very good, Riansh. Very good, Gokul. Perfect. No, not 999. It is 100 into that. So this decimal place will shift only 2 times. So 99.985. So see, we got this complicated root using binomial. This is how you use it. I'm just showing you the scope, the extent till which we can use it. So many different applications. It is there below. It is raised to some number. It is less than 1, more than 1. So many lengthy calculations can be avoided. Now I'll be like, sir, this is so scary. I wouldn't know that. Don't worry. When you learn with me the entire physics, places wherever binomial approximation can come, I will teach you those kind of problems. That's it. It will become a very, very easy piece of cake. Okay. But it will come at some places. I will teach you that. You should know what is binomial. If you don't know what is binomial, then teaching you over there will be a difficult task. So I'm teaching you now only so that whenever this question comes, I'll tell you, listen, we are going to use binomial approximation. Then you'll be like, oh, this is how we use it. Oh, this is where we use it. That's what will happen. All right. So we have basically now just understood what is binomial approximation. Understood, my dear warriors? Okay. Shall we now go to quadratic equation? Shall we now go to quadratic equation? Let's go to quadratic equation. Come on. Let's go to quadratic equation. Right. Now, what is this quadratic equation? And why is it used? How is it used? Etc. A lot of people, I'll tell you something, do not understand what is the meaning of root, no solution, single solution, multiple solutions. I will teach you because, I will make things interesting for you. So, my dear students, when I write 3x minus 2 is equal to y, this is called as a linear equation. What is this called? Linear equation, because the power of x is 1. The x's power is 1. But imagine this. If I write y, if I write y is equal to x square, okay, plus 4x plus 4. The power of x, the highest power of x is 2. That is why it is called as a quadratic equation. This is called as a quadratic equation. Similarly, my dear warriors, if I have y is equal to x cube minus 3x plus 4, or y is equal to x raised to 4 plus x cube minus 2x square plus 5x plus 3, this is called as a cubic equation. This is called as a cubic equation because raised to power 3. This is called as a fourth order or fourth degree equation. Fourth degree equation in x. Similarly, you can have x raised to n, x raised to 5, x raised to 6, anything like that. So that is accordingly going to increase the power of x but we don't have to deal with all these things. We are dealing only till here. We don't even go here unless you are studying JEE mathematics advanced level. Okay, but we do not reach here. In NEET physics, this and this more than sufficient, for us. Now let's understand what does it mean by a linear equation. Let us understand. Let's take some values of x and see what is the value of y that I get. X is 0. What is the value of y I get? 3 into 0, 0. So I'll get it as minus 2. If I put x as 1, 3 ones are 3. 3 minus 2 is basically 1. Okay. Then if I put the x value as 2, 3 2s are 6. 6 minus 2 is basically 4. Is there a relationship between x and y? Yes. So if I show it to you graphically, my dear warriors, okay, if I show it to you graphically, my dear warriors, you tell me the value of x, I'll tell you the value of y. If I draw the graph, for 0, it is minus 2. When x is 0, it is minus 2. When x is 1, it is 1. When x is 2, it is basically 4. So if you join all the points, it will be a line like this. It will be a straight line. What will it be? A straight line. A linear equation always gives you a linear equation. What does it give you? A straight line. Always. Linear equations will always give you a straight line. Same way, if I do it over here, let's try it out. X is 0. 0 plus 0 plus 4, it will give you 4. X is basically 1. X is 1. Okay. So 1 plus 1 multiplied by 4 plus 4. So it will become 5 plus 4, which is basically 9. If I put x as minus 1, I will get some different value only. Okay. Similarly, if I put x as 2, okay, x as basically 2, what will I get? 2 square is 4. 4 2s are 8. 8 plus 4, 12. 12 plus 4, 16. Something like that. Now, in this scenario, if I draw the graph, my dear warriors, then for 0, it is 4. For 1, it is 9. That graph basically looks like this. It looks like a curve. It basically is a curve. This is called as a parabola. What is it called? Parabola. It is a curve which is called as a parabola. Till this point, everything clear? Okay. So linear equations give straight line. Quadratic equations give you parabolic graph when you plot it on the graph. You can see so many questions on graph in NEET physics or even in NEET chemistry. Now, my dear students, what is the meaning of the root or the solution? What is the meaning of the word root or the word solution? When does the value of y become 0? I think somewhere here the value of y becomes 0 over here. But for which value of x? Think about it. For which value of x does the value of y become 0? Somewhere over here. Check this out. I think it should be 2 by 3. I think it should be x is equal to 2 by 3. Does it make sense? If you put x as 2 by 3, 3 cancels. 2 minus 2 is 0. So my dear warriors, the point where the final expression y value becomes 0, this is called as the root or the solution to the equation. Solution to the linear, in this case, linear equation. It is that point where the y coordinate becomes 0. You can see it is basically at 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 is a solution or a root to this linear equation. Till this point clear? Similarly, my dear warriors, if I make an equation like this, y is equal to 7x minus 4, the root of the equation. What is the root of the equation? What will you do? The meaning of the word root of the equation, the y value should be 0. So y is equal to 7x minus 4. Therefore, 7x is equal to 4. Therefore, x is equal to 4 by 7. So, x is equal to 4 by 7 is the solution or the root of the equation. Solution or the root of the equation. Is this point clear? Okay. So, now this is a quadratic equation. What happens in a quadratic equation is, if you keep drawing this particular graph, all right, I think you will see that actually this expression which I have shown over here, y is equal to x square plus 4x plus 4, is actually x, let us take some, yeah, x plus 2 whole square. Do you see that? It is actually x plus 2 whole square, correct? X is a plus b whole square. It's a square plus b square, which is 2 square, plus 2ab, 2 into 2 into x, which is 4x. It is actually this. So if I want to look at the solution, the value of y will be 0. So for the root of the equation, the value of y will be 0. So that means x plus 2 whole square will be 0. That means x plus 2 will be 0. That means x will be minus 2, which means somewhere on the negative side, my dear warriors, probably it will go like this. It will probably look something like this. Let me just draw it properly. It's parabola. And exactly at this point, which is minus 2, you will see this is the root of the equation. This is the root of the equation. That is where the y coordinate becomes 0 at x equals to minus 2. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Amazing. Amazing. Now you will be like, sir, a linear equation had a solution. Quadratic equation also has a solution, but isn't it little difficult to find this out? Yes, sometimes, but there is a formula for it. To find where does it, what is the root, what is the solution, where does it make the y value 0, there is a simple technique to find it out. And what is the technique? Let me just show it to you. Let me just show it to you. Whenever you have a quadratic equation, whenever you have a quadratic equation like this, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to y, then the solution, or basically the root of the equation, that is when y is equal to 0, basically what I'm saying is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 happens when your x value is minus b plus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and the other value of x that you get, is minus b minus root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Basically, you get two answers. You get two solutions, or basically two roots maximum. Two roots maximum. Let's try this technique to our problem and see whether you actually get this or not. B is the coefficient of x, A is the coefficient of x square, C is that constant term. Let's try this out to this particular problem of ours. So, in this particular problem, in this problem where you had x square plus 4x plus 4, quickly think and tell me what is A over here. Here A is basically 1. Here B is basically 4. Here C is also basically 4. So when I want to find the roots, which is basically minus b plus minus will come b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Think about it, minus b means minus 4. Plus will be one root, minus will be other root. Remember, plus and minus both possibilities, two roots, two answers you can get maximum. Okay, so my dear warriors, where did it go? Yeah, here. B. B is basically 4 square minus 4 into A. A is basically 1. C. C is also basically 4 divided by 2 into A. A is basically 1. What do you get this as? Minus 4 plus or minus, my God, 16 minus 16 is 0 by 2. Root 0 is 0. Plus or subtract doesn't matter. It is just going to be minus 4 by 2, which is minus 2. Exactly the answer which we got over here. Exactly the answer which we have got over here. Correct? Understood? So now you'll be wondering, sir, but I thought that there would be two roots. I thought there would be two roots, but how come we got a single root? So in this problem, there was a single root only because this internal term became 0. The internal term, what is that internal term? Basically, b square minus 4ac became 0. One single root was there only because this term became 0. But there are so many cases where it will not be 0. Let's take up all those situations. So example, I have y is equal to x square, let's say, plus 5x minus 2. Some random example. How does it matter? Something I have taken. Okay, you can take anything, guys. You can take anything. You can take plus, plus x, and then you can say minus 6. Doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. Some random example I have taken. So let's see what are the roots of the equation. So the roots of the equation is as follows: minus b. Okay, what is b over here, a over here, and c over here? A is basically 1, b is basically also 1, c is minus 6. C is minus 6. Minus b plus minus b square minus 4 into a into c, which is minus 6. Whole thing divided by 2 into a, which is basically 1. So minus 1 plus minus, this is going to be minus minus will become plus. 4 into 6 is 24, right? 4 6 are 24, right? The whole thing divided by 2. Very nice. So I'll get minus 1 plus minus root of 28 divided by 2. That means there are two answers. One root, root number 1. Root number 1 is, you take plus value. So it will be minus 1 plus root 28 divided by 2. And the other root is minus 1 minus root 28 whole thing divided by 2. So now you have two solutions. Do you agree with it? Now you have basically two solutions. Correct? Yes, you have two solutions. Why did you get two solutions? Is because this internal term was positive. Basically, b square minus 4ac was more than 0. It was a positive answer. It was a positive answer. That's the reason why I got two solutions. But just imagine I change one small thing in the equation. Instead of minus, I make it plus. Example, y is equal to x square plus x plus 6. Now see how things will change. A is 1, B is 1, C is 6. Now observe, x will be minus b plus minus b square minus, okay, uh, sorry guys, I made a mistake over here while doing this problem. I'm so sorry. B was 1. I don't know why I put it as 2. Suddenly I realized this. So sorry. Let me just, I don't know why I wrote B as 2. That was a silly mistake. Let me just do it over here once more. Some reason I put it as 2. My bad. Actually, it should have been x is equal to minus b, which is 1, plus or minus b square, which is 1 square, minus 4 into a into c. C is basically minus 6. Whole thing divided by 2 into 1. Whole thing divided by 2 into 1. Okay. 2a. A is basically 1. So minus 1 plus or minus, this will become 1, negative, negative, positive. 6 fours are 24. Whole thing divided by 2, which is minus 1 plus or minus 1 plus 24 is 25. Root of 25 is 5 divided by 2. So now there are two answers to it. Minus 1 plus 5 divided by 2 and minus 1 minus 5 divided by 2, which will make it minus 4 by 2, and the second answer is minus 6 by 2. That means the values of x that I'm getting are minus 2 and basically sorry, this was plus. So this was plus 2 and basically minus 3. Plus 2 and minus 3. I'm getting two answers to it. So obviously there are two solutions. There are two solutions to this problem, and there are two solutions only because b square minus 4ac was positive. The inside term was positive. So that's why I got two answers to this problem. But if I change a small thing in it, and instead of this minus I make it plus, then what will happen? Let's see. Minus b plus minus b square minus 4 into a into c, whole thing divided by 2a. So it will become minus 1 plus minus 4 6 are 24. 1 minus 24 is minus 23 divided by 2. Now there is a problem over here. Can you guess what is the problem? Root of a negative number is not real. It's not something which you can comprehend or understand. What is root of negative number? It is the imaginary number. It is not a real number. So that means the roots are imaginary. It's just there in your dreams. That is, roots are not real. Roots are not real. If it is not real, why do you believe in it? So basically, there are no real roots. Really, there are no roots for this. So hence, there is no real solution to this problem. There is no real solution to this problem. And this happened because b square minus 4ac was negative. B square minus 4ac was negative. I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. Yes. Remember, Dr. Asha, there is a 4ac in that. B square minus 4ac. That's why it has come. Okay, that 4 has come from that. B square minus 4ac. So now, probably you should think, what is this number inside doing? If this number happens to be, if this number happens to be more than 0, then there are two roots. If it is equal to 0, one root. If it is less than 0, then there are no roots at all. So that is the reason why this number that you see, b square minus 4ac, this is called as the discriminant, which has a very important role. Discriminant. It has a very, very important role in deciding whether there are solutions to a quadratic equation or not. Whether there are values which will make the value of y 0 or not. If by chance, the best possible scenario, the discriminant is more than 0, that is b square minus that is b square minus 4ac is positive, then you have two real solutions. You have two real solutions. If by chance the discriminant is equal to 0, then you have only one solution to it. You have only one real solution to it. And if by chance the discriminant is less than 0 or b square minus 4ac is negative, then you have no real solution. No real solution. In fact, graphically also I can show this to you in a very, very simple way, guys. In fact, let me just show it to you graphically. You will love it. Okay, observe this. Let's show it to you graphically. Okay, so y, x, x, y, x, and y. If there are real solutions, what it means is that the graph is cutting two times. The graph is cutting two times. These are the solutions, x1 and x2. These are the two solutions when the y coordinate is becoming 0. So that's why two real solutions. When there is one solution, it means the graph is just touching exactly once. Exactly once. So both the roots are equal. Both the roots are equal, and there is only one single solution. That is the point exactly when y coordinate becomes 0. And when there is no real solution, that means the graph just goes from the top. You can see it is not cutting only anywhere. So there is no solution at all. There is no solution at all. This is the graphical meaning of it. How many of you knew this from before? How many of you understood it now? Maybe you knew it from before. How many of you got it now? Clear? What is the meaning of no solution, one solution, and two solutions for a quadratic equation? Let me repeat. A linear equation has a single solution. Linear equation has a single solution. That's the point where the graph cuts the horizontal line, the y coordinate becomes 0. But the moment you go to a quadratic equation, it might have up to two solutions. Up to two solutions. And the two roots or the two solutions are given by this formula. Minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac by 2a. This number inside b square minus 4ac decides how many solutions are there, which is called as the discriminant. If it is 0, one solution. If it is positive, two solutions. If it is negative, no solution at all. No solution at all. Very good. Now, let me tell you how this can be coming up in physics. Imagine if I tell you the position of a particle, is given by some mathematical function. You don't even have to know the physics behind it. Just look at it mathematically. And if I tell you it is t square, okay, and if I tell you it is minus, let's say, minus t plus something plus 6, some random equation I took, t square minus t plus 6. Okay, then if the question is is when is the coordinate x 0? When is the coordinate x 0? Do you see this is a quadratic equation? This is a quadratic equation. So if x has to become 0, essentially what I'm looking at is the solution of the quadratic equation. Solution of the quadratic equation, where a is 1, b is minus 1, and c is basically 6. Correct? Yes or no, my dear warriors? A is 1, b is negative 1, c is 6. Now, let's try to find the discriminant. B square minus 4ac is how much? B is minus 1. Square it. Minus 4 into a into c is 1. Minus 1 square, 1. Minus. Okay, there is a problem. I can see it. I don't know whether you can see it too. B square minus 4a. Oh, sorry. C was 6. My bad. C was 6. V square is this. Okay. 4 into AC. Can you see that, my dear warriors? B is basically minus 1 minus 4 into A into basically C. C is basically 6. So it is 1 minus 24, which is going to make it as minus 23. Which is going to make it as minus 23. What can you say from this? What can you say from this? What can you say from this? Come on, quickly think and tell me. Quickly think and tell me. Yep. Discriminant. What is this b square minus 4ac, guys? What is this? This is your discriminant. And the discriminant has come out to be negative. If it is negative, it means only one and only one thing. There is no solution. No value of t. No value of t will make the expression 0. No value. So hence the answer to this question, when will x be 0? The answer is never. Physics wise, the answer is never. No solution. So there will be an option, none of these, or never. You will mark that option. Got it, my dear students, how this works? Got it, my dear students, how this works? This is how you apply quadratic equations in real physics. That's how you apply quadratic equations in real physics. Awesome. Now, some people often find it difficult to find the roots using, b square minus 4ac formula. So for them, I'll tell you there is a simple technique which you can remember. Very, very simple technique. Say, for example, you take this equation, x square. Then you take, let's say, minus 2, okay? Or let's say, you take plus 2 and minus 3x. Okay, let's say we take this equation. Now, if you want to find the roots, one option is use the big formula. Other option is called as the factorization method. What you do is, whichever term contains only x, split up that number which is multiplied by it, which is basically minus 3, into two such numbers, such that their product, such that whatever numbers you take, the product, that is the multiplication should give you this number. The multiplication should give you this number. Obviously, when you add them back, you should get minus 3. When you add them back, you should get minus 3. I think you know what those numbers can be. Think about it. When you multiply two numbers, you should get this number as it is. You should get this number as it is. And when you just add them up, you should get minus 3 back. I think it is minus 2 and minus 1. Minus 2 into minus 1 is plus 2. Minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. So guys, the moment you understand it is like that, what you do is you just put it up as x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 1. That's it. That is the answer. So this whole thing will come down to this. This whole thing will come down to this. So if this has to be equal to 0, even this will be equal to 0, and this can be 0 only for two possible ways: when x is 2 or basically x is 1. So these are the two solutions. So these are basically the two solutions for this equation. Two solutions, or you can also call it as roots for this particular quadratic equation. Split it up such that their product is the constant and their sum comes back to the original number. As simple as that. Understood, my dear warriors? So x is 2 or x is 1. You can try it out for more such examples. Like say, for example, x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. X square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Do you think we can get the middle number split into two such numbers, whose product is this number 6? I think so. And their addition should be minus 5. Yep. Minus 3 and minus 2. Right? So I think minus 3 and minus 2 makes sense. Minus 3 into minus 2 is plus 6. So therefore, I can write this as x minus 3 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. That's how you write it as. This is same as this. Even if you multiply it and see, you'll get back the same expression. Therefore, x is 3 or x is 2. So again, we have two solutions or two roots. Now, this might not always work. When the factorization does not work, what will you do? When it does not work, you will use the formula. When this does not work, you will use basically the formula. So understand this. So say for example, if factorization, if factorization doesn't work, then what will you do? Use the formula. Then what will you do? You will use the formula. As simple as that. As simple as that. This is something which you should keep in mind. Like for example, take this example. X square minus 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. Can you factorize this? Can you factorize this? Just think, are there two numbers which you can think I can split it up into such that their multiplication is basically 5? Is there two numbers? I don't think so, so easily. So we have no other option but to use x is equal to minus b. B is basically minus 2 plus or minus root of divided by 2 into a. A is 1. B is minus 2. So minus 2 square minus 4 into a into c. So what do we get? Minus minus is becoming plus, plus minus. This is going to become 4 minus 4 5s are 20. So it will become minus 16. Be careful. Divided by 2. Now the problem is this is root of a negative number. So that means there are no real solutions. There are no real solutions to this question. As simple as that. There is no real solution. Because root of a negative number is imaginary number. Yep. Got it? So sometimes factorization may not work. You have to think about it mentally. With practice, you will get it. As simple as that. Okay. So today we have learned three major things. Logarithms you will be learning in chemistry by Diksha ma'am. Tell me, how did you enjoy it? Did you love these techniques? Did you love these basics, which are going to be used at multiple locations? And we'll be solving even more problems in the, the DNA batch. If you are going to be a part of it, very good, very lucky you guys are. So check out the link which is there in the description box below. That will help you, enroll yourself into the DNA batch. Remember, the batch has enrollments have just started as you are watching this particular video. Hopefully, you do not watch it too late, right? This is a link. You can see all of us only are teaching over here. And the best part is the batch is starting on 7th of June with a very, very nominal fee of 3,999 rupees. The price will go up, once the batch starts. So I wouldn't join the batch later on if I have the option of joining it now. Okay, if I want to save money. Otherwise, you can obviously join after 7th June, but again, you'll start missing out few classes. This is the entry point. Keep that in mind. Okay, so we will have another class on basic maths, but that will be on geometry. Okay, which will involve arcs, radians, degrees, conversion, length of arc, uh, finding tan, cos, sine of different angles, and the different formulas of trigonometry. All these things we will learn in the next class. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know in the comments how was the first class, and are you ready to fight it out for the next 1-2 years with me over here? Quickly put it up. Thank you so much. This was Captain Shreyas signing off. Hasta la vista. Thank you for liking and subscribing. See you in the comments.